In this video, we're going to talk about gorillas. They're the planet's largest great ape and one of our closest relatives. But these majestic animals are so often wrapped up in myth. So today, we're going to peel back those layers and get to the real story of these incredible creatures. When you think gorilla, what comes to mind? Probably King Kong, right? A fearsome, chest beating monster. But the reality is so much more complex and, frankly, way more interesting. Gorillas are deeply social, super intelligent, and often surprisingly gentle. So let's find out what they're really all about. So here's our game plan. First, we'll meet these gentle giants and get the basic biological facts down. Then, we'll explore their homes and what their families look like. After that, we'll dive into their daily routine, figure out who their friends and foes are, and we'll finish up with some amazing facts that might just blow your mind. Alright, first up, let's meet the gentle giants. Before we can understand how they live, we kind of need to know what they are. So, what exactly is a gorilla? Well, for starters, they're mammals, and they hold the official title for the world's largest primate. You can just see it in the build. That stocky body and broad chest is perfectly designed to process all the plants they eat. And when we say largest, we are not kidding. A fully grown adult male can tip the scales at nearly 500 pounds, which is about 227 kilograms. The females are a bit smaller, but still incredibly powerful. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Their lifespan. In the wild, life is tough. You've got predators, disease, the constant hunt for food, so they might live 35 to 40 years. But in the safety of a sanctuary, with regular vet care and no predators, that lifespan can stretch well into their 50s, with some even reaching their 60s. It's a huge difference that really tells you how challenging life in the jungle can be. Okay, so now that we know what a gorilla is, let's explore where they live and how they organize their families. You'll only find wild gorillas on one continent, Africa. They live in these dense, tropical forests across a handful of countries in the central part of the continent. But here's the problem. That vital habitat is under threat, and it's shrinking fast because of things like logging and mining. And that leads us to this really crucial point. Because of those threats, both species of gorilla are now classified as critically endangered. And it isn't just some label. It means their survival is literally hanging by a thread, which makes conservation work more important than ever. Gorillas are super social creatures. They live in these really tight-knit family groups called troops. But like any family, somebody's got to be in charge. So who calls the shots? And the answer is the silverback. This is a mature male, usually over 12 years old, who gets his very cool name from that patch of silver hair that grows on his back. He's not just the biggest and strongest, he's the ultimate decision maker and protector, leading his family to food and keeping them safe. So, with the silverback leading the way, what does a normal day actually look like for his troop? Let's take a look at everything from what they eat for dinner to how they raise their little ones. You might think with all that muscle, they're carnivores, but nope. Gorillas are primarily herbivores. This chart for a mountain gorilla says it all. Look at that, it's almost entirely vegetation. An adult male can chow down on over 40 pounds of this stuff every single day. Now, if you think human babies grow up fast, check this out. Baby gorillas hit their milestones way quicker. As you can see here, they're crawling, standing, and even walking well within their first year, all while staying super close to their moms. This number, 2 to 6, it tells a really important and kind of sad story about gorilla life. Because the infant mortality rate in the wild is pretty high, a female will typically only raise about 2 to 6 surviving kids in her whole lifetime. That really slow rate of reproduction is a big reason why their populations have such a hard time bouncing back. Okay, let's switch gears and talk about relationships. How do gorillas interact with other species? Who are their friends? Who are their enemies? And, where do we fit into the picture? When we think of enemies, we probably imagine some scary jungle predator. But for a full-grown gorilla, there's really only one: the leopard. The truly sobering reality, though, is that their biggest threat, by a long shot, is humans. Habitat loss, poaching, and disease, that's the real danger. But it's not all conflict, and this is amazing. And a discovery that basically blew researchers' minds. They found that gorillas can form actual long-term friendships with another great ape, chimpanzees. They've been seen hanging out and even playing together, which totally challenges what we thought we knew about them. Alright, to wrap things up, let's hit some incredible facts about these gentle giants that you probably didn't know. So let's do a quick rundown. First, they build a brand new nest to sleep in every single night. How's that for fresh sheets? Second, they hardly ever drink from streams. They get pretty much all the water they need from the juicy plants they eat. Third, that classic knuckle walk, it's because their arms are actually longer than their legs. Fourth, despite their tough looks, they are incredibly gentle parents. I mean, a silverback has even been seen sharing his nest with an orphaned baby. And finally, they're really smart problem solvers and have been seen using sticks as tools to check how deep water is. How cool is that? So it leaves you with the thought. These gentle giants are living these really complex social lives in an increasingly fragile world. And studying them doesn't just teach us about nature, it kind of holds up a mirror to ourselves, our families, and our own place in the world. Alright, that is it for this video, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.